Hello and welcome to For the Culture. It's your girl, MzMuah.
I'm AWB.
And I'm the Diva.
And you can catch us every Monday right here at 7 p.m. Make sure that you are following us on all social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and New Beat Radio. And of course, more to come. Tonight's sponsors is New Beat Radio as well as Gems. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good,
Excellent.
doing good. How you doing today? Are we starting the week off fresh?
Listen,
Hey.
we doing something. We here for
Yeah.
the culture.
That's it.
Yeah.
How about that? So we're
That's
going to
it.
culture right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, so as February comes to an end, we are highlighting just some of the topics that we had this month, whether it's love, our history as a whole. We wanted to end tonight with our culture and go out with a bang. So tonight, of course, like I just said, we're talking about our history, what we've been through, and where we are going. So we did a lot of research for y'all, okay? We all feel like we have taken quizzes and tests to make sure that this was a good thing for you guys tonight. So just some things that I found that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention based on our history. One thing that I feel like is we have faced this thing over time, and that is separate but equal.
Yeah.
And in doing that, according to the idea, it was supposed to make it so that we had the same opportunities as other individuals, but really it limited us when it came to jobs, when it came to where we could go, where we could shop, our water fountains, our entrances, our exits, all of those things were limited to a certain period or a certain space. And so over time, that has definitely been an issue. This, I guess, is something that we definitely experienced during Jim Crow, right? That was the whole era of this going on. Outside of that, we were also, like I said, limited in different resources. And so I wanted to talk about Jim Crow a little bit. We talked about opportunities, things that we missed just based on the fact that we were kind of grouped together. What do you think Jim Crow did to us as a culture?
Great question.
I think that, you talked about separate but equal, and I think that they wanted to separate us, but we were never equal, and we were never intended to be equal, okay? It was designed for us to be second class or second citizens or not even considered as human. And I think that when they, segregation for me, did it do a good thing for us? I don't know, because when we were together with when our community was together before we were integrated, I guess, into America, I don't know, it seemed like we were so much more powerful.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I get that. What about you?
I would go along with that and say also that, we were separate.
Mm-hmm.
We had our own banks, we had our own hospitals, we had our own facilities, we had our own communities that were not projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So separate but equal did not mean separate and equal. It meant separate and figure it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
some of the examples that I found that were different for us versus other races were our opportunities, the activities that we could experience when it came to school, the types of books and training material that we received.
All secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Outside of that, the policing that we've experienced has been of excessive force and not being represented properly when it comes to the judicial system and as well as in court. Also, how we've just been seen as aggressive and all of those things. Oh, these people over here are like this, they live over here, they do this, and they can only do that. Very limited mindset when it came to us. And also, outside of that, just our experiences in healthcare as well.
Oh my goodness.
One thing that I can say, I think 2020 taught us with COVID-19, I know it started a little bit before that, is the separate but equal, or the segregation piece, to me, is still here.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And you mentioned policing. Well, policing, how they had the slave, the ones who ran after the slaves. What are they? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
The head owners.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that in turn, so slavery ended. So you still have they weren't bounty hunters, but they were the ones who chased the slaves and brought them back, even when they became sharecroppers. Okay, so now we have police. Do you not know the police are doing the same thing? They're capturing us, they're beating us, and they're sending them straight to jail. So we went from slavery to jail.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the new slavery. Absolutely. So, if you're just tuning in, this is For the Culture, and you catch us every Monday. We are talking about things that matter to our community. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We hope you enjoy the show. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. How do you feel about the progress that we have as a people based on the obstacles that we have experienced and the things that are still going on to this day? How do you think we're doing?
Oh my goodness, I believe that we're struggling. And you know what? I want to say something super positive.
Do you?
I do. I was having a conversation this past weekend with a gentleman, and he was frustrated because he's like, black women and black men, although we're all in the struggle, black men are so far behind.
Yeah.
And it's like black men are targeted, black men are, it's like you have a target on your back.
Yeah.
You cannot walk down the street, you can't sit in your home, you can't play basketball, you can't do anything because the police are looking for you, or looking at you. So I guess my question is, when do we, and I said to him, because we talked about educated black men, we talked about athletes, we talked about sports figures, athletes. We talked about actors. When do we come back to the community?
What do you mean by when do we come back to the community?
What I mean, here's what I said to him, because he's an educated black man, and he's talking about this, he does this and he does that, but you're talking about the community, and you're talking about the community that's broken. So when do we, as successful black people, when do we go back to the hood? When do we go back? And we got to do more, I think, than build not country clubs, centers, Martin Luther King Center.
Rec centers.
Rec centers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can we do more than that? It seems like, okay, so can we start some educational programs? Can we, we're talking about banks and grocery stores. Why don't we, when we become successful, why don't we come back and put these things in the community?
Well, I think, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, Willie Lynch did a lot with us mentally, and he's still doing things with us, right?
That's true.
So we were separated mentally a long time ago, and we were advised that this part of our culture is like this and they belong here.
Yeah.
This part of our culture is like this and they belong here. And we are still battling with that to this day. We talk about, I get on Facebook and I delete a lot of my friends all the time without a word, just because of them talking about the shade of a woman. Oh, dark-skinned women are like this and light-skinned women are like this and blah, blah, blah. And that's just talking about our appearance. But when you think about it, if that's really how you think, are you really in position to partner with all of our people if you already have these biases in your mind? I think that we within our community are still divided. And until we realize we're divided, we got to fix this. We got to get this together. We got to come together regardless of the shade, regardless of the size, regardless of the status. We're going to keep reliving the same problems.
How do we do that? How do we come together? Because you're right. We talk about good hair. We talk about bad hair. We talk about complexion. We talk about finances. So what do we do in order to, and I'm not saying we need a new black leader. Why are black people, African American, or whatever our name is for the day, why do we have to have a leader? Who else has a leader?
Well, there are leaders in other countries.
I didn't mean in other countries or but Al Sharpton.
Okay.
Anytime something jumps, respect. I love Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's not my leader.
Okay.
So don't call Al.
I'm just
She ain't feeling the perm.
I'm just
I see what it is.
respect, but I just feel like the saying is, when you know better, you'll do better.
Right.
Don't we know better? Do we not know better?
So
how do you feel about our
I'll come from the corporate standpoint
Okay.
of things
Okay.
for our culture. Being that I've worked in corporate America a lot of my adult life, if you pay attention, this kind of goes along with what you were saying. If you look in leadership positions in corporations, if there are women in the positions, they usually are not African American, not in the higher positions. You definitely probably will not see a black man in higher positions unless the CEO or the owners are of African American descent.
Yeah.
But statistically speaking, most CEOs want women in their higher positions.
Mm-hmm.
So you ask, is it better for us? Has it gotten better as a culture? Are we still kind of struggling? We're still struggling.
Yeah.
It's going to be a struggle until,
Yeah.
for one, we as a people come together
Yeah.
and say, we're not going to take this. We are just as educated as our counterparts.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay me $20,000 less
Yeah.
because of my skin color.
I think with us, for some reason, there is a cap.
There was a
Definitely.
And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah.
you can be successful, until this.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you can be
Yes.
this, and this until this.
Yes.
Oh, you got you a house. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you still going to get pulled over for no reason.
You are. You are.
And don't let a march be going on. And there was a gentleman that brought so much positive energy to this city. So much just a legend in this city. He was literally in the wrong place at the wrong time when it came to the riots and all the things that was going down downtown. Chris Beatty, rest in heaven to you, brother.
Yes.
And he was killed. This is not a thug. This is not a... But somebody looked at him and said whatever they said to themselves, and next thing you know, they're gone. I feel like for some reason, there's a cap with us, and we have to remove the cap. And I don't know if we actually can as a culture. I think we're going to have to get a mind change when it comes to society, when it comes to African American people. I've never been anything else, so I can't speak on anyone else in particular, but I can say until you change your mind about us, we're going to be thugs. We're going to be ratchet. We're going to be criminals. And a lot of us are none of that. So that's just my...
And even those folks who are thugs and ratchet and whatever, they still deserve a respect because they're a human being.
Period.
You know? So, but they're so quick to label us. You know? If I always get off on
I've
the
been
race
called an
thing.
angry black female several times.
Oh my God.
Look, what's wrong? What's wrong? No, I just want the respect that I am due.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And if one more of my superiors tell me that I don't know my place, you talking about rubbing somebody the wrong way. First of all, sir, ma'am, what's my place? What is it that I'm missing?
And who are you to
And
put
who
me
are
in it?
you?
In my place. Oh,
How do you get the
because
power
we
to put
are
me in
just
it?
as educated. We
Yeah.
are just as capable.
Yeah.
Most times, a lot of times, even more so.
Yeah.
Because when we come to the table, we got to bring our A game.
Period.
It's got to be 200%
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
I dare you to go and work as a black female and start crying.
Yeah.
They'll look at you like, but now,
if it's a Karen, honey, do you need a moment?
do you need a moment? Do you need a mental health?
These
day?
are not the views of Lipstick Entertainment.
This is
These
our
are
personal
mine.
views.
This is
and we've had it
mine.
on through our
because
personalized
I
experience.
have personally, experienced this, and it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Or when you are in position, you get to train that our brother or sister of a fair complexion. You get to train them.
Yeah.
To take your place, to become your superior.
And that's why I was getting
Wait a minute, I got 150 years in this.
Not
thing.
150.
Yeah.
It's not 150
But
for me.
the thing of it is, though, and then that's another thing. We are our own worst enemy in that as well. Because we don't like to see other black people be successful in positions. And
What
it's
is
so
that?
sad.
Or in business.
Exactly.
No, I'm not going to
Exactly.
support you. I
Just
am
because.
not.
And it goes
I
back
am
to what
not.
we were kind of saying earlier. Both people were kind of saying, yes, I want you to be successful as long as you're not as more
Long as
successful
you're
than me.
not-
Or
you're
as
not
long
more
as,
than me.
people don't receive you a certain way that they didn't receive me.
Mm.
And the thing of it is that what we need to realize as a people are a couple different things, of course. But people are going to receive you before you even open your mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
There's that.
So when you do open your mouth, you need to make sure what's coming out of it
Yes.
is something that is actually of substance.
Yeah.
That you can actually take something to them.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go.
Yeah. Y'all speaking tonight. If you're just tuning in, this is for the culture, and of course we are talking about things that impact us as a community. Now, we talked about Jim Crow a little bit. We talked about separate but equal. We talked about segregation. I'm sure we're going to get back into that. And we just got into progress. Where we at? We decided there is a cap on us, okay? So now, let's get into a little research. Now, AWB, I know that you took some time and you were looking at some powerful people of the past, some individuals that we wanted to highlight. You don't hear their names all the time. Who you got and who are they?
Well, I tell you what, in respect to Harriet and Sojourner and Malcolm and Martin and Marcus, all those folks, respect. But, you know, we want to talk about some folks who you don't hear. My first on my list is Percy L. Julian, okay? Percy L. Julian was an African-American scientist, and she looked at me, right? She looked at me. Here's why she looked at me. Percy L. Julian is my high school alma mater, 83, class of 83.
You know what?
Jaguars for life. Don't
You know
play.
what?
Don't play.
That wasn't the assignment. But go ahead. Go.
But he is just unrecognized. He held over 130 patents, you know, and one of his major ones was the chemical that firefighters use to put out fires.
Okay.
You know, huge, and you don't hear his name.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, unless you are from Chicago and you went to the number one
Whatever.
in the city.
And you're not.
But he was a dynamic man, and he believed in giving back. He wanted to take his knowledge and impart it. He wanted to young people to be inventors. You know, he wanted to let young black people know that they could be scientists.
Yeah.
You know, so that was number one on my
Okay,
list.
come on. What you got next?
Oh, I have Nikki Giovanni,
Okay.
poet extraordinaire,
Okay.
teacher, professor. If you have not read any of her books, you must.
Okay.
You must. I don't care if you don't like poetry. I mean, she speaks a word. She talks about our experience, black girl. She talks about love. She talks about being beat down. You've got to, Nikki Giovanni, I'm telling you, get those books by her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
you got anybody else?
I've got Shirley Chisholm.
Okay.
Okay, everybody knows Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan. They were groundbreakers in the political field.
Okay.
You know, black women running for anything,
Yeah.
and you have the nerve and audacity to try to run for president.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. You know, one thing, I'm happy you brought up people that, you know, don't
so
get
sorry.
get enough press. That movie that Taraji P. Henson is in, and Octavia Spencer, where they're like sending people to the moon or something. That movie was
Hidden Figures. That's it.
Oh my
That's
God.
a new classic.
Oh my God, it was so
That
good
movie
because,
was awesome.
man, aren't we brilliant?
Brilliant.
I was like
And they
so
tried
impressed.
to keep them down in the basement somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I did not know that story prior to watching that movie.
I didn't know the
So
story.
I was like, oh my God, like we did that? You know, and I'm a numbers girl, I work in finance, so it really did something for me because I'm like, oh my God, look what we're capable of.
And can you imagine that they had so little respect for them? They couldn't even go to the bathroom in the
Yeah.
same building
Yeah.
with white people.
Yeah.
They had to run across up and down the street to get to the bathroom for coloreds only.
And I was so impressed by the person that actually stood up and made that change.
Yes.
And said, you know what? No.
That
Yep.
doesn't even make any
Yep.
sense.
We're not going to go through this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I think it's so important for our culture for us to continue to learn about great people of the past, even if we don't recognize their name just right off the bat. The educators, the inventors, all the people, the activists, the poets, all of the people that have made our culture great. Diva, I know you were focusing on history as well, education, inventors. What you got?
Yes. So one of my first people is Rita Pearson.
Okay.
And she gave the most powerful TED Talk. I don't know if you're familiar with that show now, but TED Talks features a lot of different varieties of things in the political realm.
Okay.
Okay. So she gave one of the most powerful ones because she actually said that every child needs a champion.
Mm.
And she was really focusing on our African American boys.
Mm.
You know, a lot of the times we are painted to not have fathers in the households. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm being choked up. And that's not necessarily the case. You know, there are a lot of successful, powerful black couples that are raising families.
That's right.
And raising children.
Right.
And then another one I had was Carlotta Walls Lanier, and she actually was harassed. Her house was bombed after she wrote her book about her experiences being one of the nine.
Okay.
Okay.
But, you know, she didn't let it stop her. And I say kudos to you.
And so when you say the 9, if they don't know, what is that?
There were a group of 9 individuals that were, I'll say, falsely accused.
Okay.
Of a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And it took them years to basically then get vindicated or clear their name.
Yeah.
How many times has that happened?
Yeah.
How many times you are guilty because of the way you look? You know, you have, and then, of course, we're learning about the stories now. We're learning about the stories now, but this has been happening ongoing, and nothing was done. And these people have gone to jail and have sat in jail, and 30, 40, 50 years later being vindicated.
What's crazy is it's supposed to be you are innocent until proven guilty, but it seems like if you it seems like if you're a person of color, it is the opposite.
It is the opposite.
You are instantly considered guilt. Period. And then we'll find out later what it really is.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
If they consider that you're being mouthy or you're knowing your rights and defending yourself.
And how do you not? Because you know I watch these videos all the time. How do you not become upset? How do you not become agitated or frustrated or aggressive even?
Right.
If somebody is yelling at you.
Right.
If somebody is threatening to arrest you.
Right.
For no reason.
Yeah.
You know, how do you keep a cool head?
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, although I have a lot of friends who are police officers or married police officers, I become very nervous when police are behind me.
Yeah.
You know, and I have insurance and my driver's license is good.
Yeah.
You know, but I just feel like, how would I act? You know, what would I do? Sandra Bland did not know she was going to die because did she fail to signal? I mean,
it's sad as not only an African American or a black woman, it's sad as a mother that we have to be fearful for our children.
Yes.
So scary.
Even when they're grown, you know, they're out there driving, you know, and thinking that maybe they will get pulled over by the person, male or female, that has the mentality that they are a threat because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
Or because they may, again, know their rights, or they are refusing to do what they're told to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, again, you're thinking about simple things as somebody out jogging, somebody laying in their bed, sleep.
Yeah.
And
Somebody
being killed.
playing a game in their own house.
You know what's so difficult for me too is just the whole tuck your tail thing.
Exactly.
It's like you gotta kind of bring yourself back, and you gotta kind of like
mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah, you gotta be you got everything you say has to be like really polite and really like put together.
Sir,
yes, sir. No,
yes,
sir.
sir.
You gotta be like. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Like that feeling feels like I can't even imagine. Like even the people that they pull over and they search them for no reason. They go. Can you just imagine how that feels? Like it is. I don't know.
But can you? But another thing that on that same page, our vanilla brothers and sisters, they don't have to.
No.
They can curse them straight on out.
Yeah.
Get totally wild. They can jump in their car. They can, you know, just all kind of anything, and
Let's
nothing.
go on police chase.
And
Let's
nothing.
go.
Yes.
I mean, you know, the guy who chased the police around with the knife. He had a whole knife chasing the police officer. He didn't get dead. I mean, I'm done.
You say some things.
I mean, I don't wish that on nobody, but how on earth are we getting ready for our wedding and get shot multiple times?
Oh my goodness.
How does that happen?
Have either of you ladies experienced driving while black?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what we were kind of talking about. I don't know if any of the people watching have done. So
Yeah.
please like and share.
Yes.
Driving while black is fun. It's
You know.
also dangerous.
Well,
It's
and then
dangerous.
I can definitely count on times being in your suburban areas like Carmel
Yeah.
or Fishers
Yeah.
or Noblesville and being asked why I'm there.
You almost made me say.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
So,
What? Sis, what did you say?
yeah, I said a whole lot, didn't I?
I mean, when they say to you, why are you
Why
here?
are
So-
you here?
My first response after I had to was actually I either work in or live in this area or have clients in this area, so I'm definitely entitled to be here.
No, you know what my favorite is? Here's my favorite. If you are driving well or dressed well, oh, what do you do? What it got to do with you? Why is that your business or your concern?
Right.
First question.
Yeah.
That's the first question.
You know,
Yeah.
How about shopping while black?
Oh
That's a-
my
that's a
God.
good time.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Price
ask
is
you
this
guys
much.
this.
Do you really want this? That's the price on it.
I'm gonna ask you guys this.
Yes.
Because I want to know what kind of shopper are you? Because I am an outgoing introvert, so I'm outgoing only at certain times. Otherwise, I'm introverted. I'm to myself. So I'm shopping. I really don't like people to bother me.
Mhm.
So I like to keep my hands where they can see them. I don't know why, but I got my bag right here. Probably got my phone right here. You cool? I'm good. I'm really not touching too much unless I absolutely need something. Because I don't need you peering around at me. I don't need you. Okay, I may look at. I'm stretching things out so you can see that it went back. Because I don't want the extra.
Isn't that something that you have to be
Did you-
that
yeah,
animated?
That's very unfortunate.
Isn't that something?
Because I'm the kind of person I'm going to actually call you out on it. That's me.
Oh, okay, so you do that. Okay. What do you say?
Well, for one, I don't like to shop. I know it sounds weird, me being a diva and all, but I actually don't like to shop. So when I go into places, I know what I'm going to get.
Yes, same.
I'm going in to get it, and I'm out.
Coming out. Yes.
So
Not me.
if I'm seeing that, I'm being watched and followed after the initial greeting, hello, that's if we even get a greeting.
If you get a
Start with
greeting.
that.
Right.
But
You get a greeting.
That
after
part.
the initial greeting, if you are then hovering over me, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, okay, you know what, look, I know what I want. I know what I need to get. I do not need you to hover over me.
Yeah.
If I need you, I know your name. You gave it to me. If not, I'll ask their name, and I'll come and find you.
Right.
Thanks.
See,
Okay.
I'm the exact
She
opposite.
confronts some baby. Yes.
You know,
Okay.
I'm going to
Stay a while, first of all.
I'm going to stay a while. I'm circling an entire store.
Oh,
22 times.
No!
Entire store. And then when I realize, and it don't take long to realize when you're being watched or when you're being followed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I realize that that's what you're doing, that's what we doing. Oh, we getting
Oh,
ready to go on a
we-
chase. we getting ready to go on a
I'm done.
chase.
I'm going to go with shopping with AWB and
So
just
now you
record
just
it.
be doing this.
Record it. I'm like, look,
Now,
what you doing? Look.
Just Patty Murphy. I can see you now.
honey, because I feel like, listen, today you gonna earn yours.
Oh, earn that commission. Yes.
One-on-one petty place. Okay. I'm done.
I just feel like because and it's funny though, watch yourself, because when I go and I'm dressed, they still look at me, but they don't hang out as much. But when I'm in my sweats and I got a baseball cap on backwards and looking like, I don't care.
I ain't never seen you like that, but go ahead.
I try not to stay out too long. But I do it.
Just in and out.
No, I'm hanging out.
That's all right. Okay.
But I just feel like you are following me because of the way that I look.
Yeah.
And I used to be a loss prevention detective, and you know who I arrested most of the time? Older white people. So why you watching me Grandma over there done packed her bag.
You hear me?
Listen.
And you say, have a great day, ma'am.
I
And
sure
she's like,
will.
okay.
Bye. See you next week.
AWB, if you're just tuning in for the first time, she's very militant. And her experiences are just out of this world. So you're going to hear some things from her.
You know, and I would like to apologize. No, I don't even.
You know what?
Sorry,
I don't
not
want
sorry?
to. Sorry, not sorry.
So we're going to shift gears just a little bit. Okay? Because I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
This is a fact first, then I'll get into the question.
Okay.
It says that black men were given the rights to vote in 1870. And then black women were given the rights to vote after the Voting Rights Act in 1965. There have been a number of protests, marches, and cases around voting. My question is, as a culture, do you believe that we are attacked when it comes to voting?
Absolutely.
And if so, why? Why is it a problem for us to vote?
First of all, they want us to vote a particular way. Okay. And you know that to be the case because you don't see the politicians until it's time for us to vote.
Okay.
And even our president, Uncle Joe, what did he say? Oh, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. He said it out his mouth.
Uncle Joe did say that. I'm just saying.
Out his face.
And he wasn't even ashamed about it.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people were turned so off.
Yeah.
And I was like, is Mickey Mouse running? What? I
I'm
don't even.
Not Mickey the Mouse.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, you take for granted because I look like I look, I'm going to vote for you.
Yeah.
They
But you don't think he was saying that because he has built a connection with us because of the Obamas, because of the previous administration that he was a part of, and just the affiliates and stuff that he has? You don't think he was just saying it because of the reputation that he's built with us, the trust that he's built with us?
Oh, he definitely built on that.
Some things you don't say out your face.
Okay. Okay, so still no.
Still no.
Okay.
You just don't do that. And you don't take it for granted that I'm going to shop at your spot, ride in your car, or vote for you.
Okay. What about you, Diva? What you think?
I definitely would say that, he used his bearing.
Okay.
Like you said, he
got
was
it in.
Right. By being with the Obamas, and that whole ride, he definitely figured he's going to let us know, okay, I'm a shoe in. Quit playing with me. y'all going to vote me in. And, I know several people that did not vote for him. Even being African American.
He
or
rubbed some
black.
people the wrong way.
Why do you think that we're attacked when it comes to our vote? Why do they want to take our vote from
It's
us?
several different reasons. Because for one,
Powerful if we come together.
that is it. That's number one. And then for two, they really don't know which way we're going to vote.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it has to do with them not even coming to our communities to kind of see what the issues are. Or they do the opposite and they come to our communities and see what we are saying our issues are, and they make these promises to do them.
Yeah.
And
You see them once or twice a year.
yeah, they don't. I can remember being even at church, and several of the politicians coming to visit the church
Yeah.
to try to get our vote.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's wrong. You should come to the churches. You should go to the daycares.
But you should come
go
to
the
community
hospitals. Exactly.
on a regular basis.
Exactly. Not just when you're trying to get my vote.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like you're trying to get my money.
Yeah.
But
You want me to spend my
if
money.
Joe is crooked, let's say he is, his opponent has definitely been crooked over the years.
That brings me to my next point.
So who we voting for? Or do we need to vote?
We need to vote.
Definitely.
But what we need to do is we need to start at the local levels. Okay? What's important is if you're concerned about your children, because I was going to say your son, but your daughter, your son standing before the judge, you need to vote. You need to vote for your congressman, your councilman, your Chicago, your alderman. You need to vote because those are the people that are going to affect your immediate circle.
Okay.
So going along with that, and that's kind of like with the question, don't just vote for a straight party. Yeah. That is the worst mistake you can make. Personal belief on this, I will always vote. I vote for the lesser of the evils. That's the way I do it because too many people fought for me to have the right to vote.
Right.
And I said to my children, when you become old enough to vote, I don't care who you vote for. You make your own decision on that, but you will go vote.
But
Okay.
you will vote.
Because
and that's
too
what
many people
we
vote
got to
and
understand
die
now. In the community, it's imperative that we vote. I heard so many people say, I don't care. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
And it has
It really
everything.
does.
It has everything to do
And
with
because we don't turn up and turn out and we don't vote, we feel like, oh, just one vote is not going to matter. It will matter. It does matter. And it, like you said, it's the lesser of the two evils. Who do you resonate with more? Who do
I have
you
a question.
believe more?
You know, with speaking on politicians in particular, you know, shout out to Abe Lincoln, shout out to Kennedy, shout out to the ones that did the things to help us along the way. But it seems like just what the research that I've seen, that I've done, a lot of their hands were forced.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Yes.
oh, this had to get this bad
Yeah.
for now we got to speak up. Now we got to do this. And even if you look at something as current as George Floyd, we tore this nation up. And we did it at the same time. And I don't care. That was the most powerful thing I have ever seen. And I was at home like, you better go. Because I just feel like you're going to stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. But even in that situation, it took something drastic
Yeah,
right.
for them to arrest those
Yeah.
cops. Because it's like they feel like they can
are
just
above
do
the law.
whatever.
They're above the law. You know,
Why is that the narrative?
justice is just us. They don't care about anybody else. We're looking for Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Has anybody been charged yet?
Not,
I mean-
don't think so. Not that I know of.
No. You know, and it's almost like, so what?
Yeah.
And what they say is, well, we're killing ourselves. Black on black crime. I hate that phrase with everything in me, and let me tell you why. You know why black on black crime is high? Because I live next door to you. I live next door to you. You not driving out to Carmel to break in nobody's house. You're breaking into the house next door to you. Just like white on white crime. But you know what? They don't say white on white crime. But they quick
And
to
that's what
say
it is.
black on black crime. You people are crooks, criminals, who in your surrounding, in your area, who is adjacent to you.
Well, that has a lot to do with us not policing ourselves. We don't police ourselves as a culture.
Anymore. No.
Anymore. Exactly. You know, I think, we've gotten away from, if we see somebody doing something wrong, speaking up to that person.
Yeah.
Because for one, we're scared
We're
that we
scared.
might get killed ourselves
Yeah.
just because we spoke up
Yeah.
on something that was wrong.
Now, I got to ask you guys a question. This is your own individual opinion, but I want to know what you think. There is a popular phrase or slogan that has been used in this day and age in our culture, and I want to know what you think it means. It says, I am not my ancestors.
That means I will hurt you.
Oh, okay.
Get in that.
So that's what that means?
I mean, that's what it means for me.
Okay.
That's what it means.
Okay.
But when I say, because I'll say, I am not my grandma. Although my grandma, both of them were pretty tough,
Yeah.
But we do it differently than they did. They had more, they had less mouth. They were more subtle, I suppose. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say. But we coming.
We knocking if you bucking.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think a lot of it, actually, I was being silly a second ago, but it actually is what it means.
I wasn't.
Because, the thing of it is that, where our ancestors, our great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers actually had to take being spit on
Yeah.
or,
Yes.
told they could not come into a facility.
Mm-hmm.
This generation and our generation is going forward are not accepting that as a behavior.
Yeah.
That's where the saying came from.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for that. There
I'm
is a-
glad you did that so.
She always cleans it up
eloquently,
so
you
well
know.
because you just be.
I'm just gonna tell you the
listen,
truth.
she be rebelling in the streets. Is what she be
Listen,
doing.
what do you want to do?
So listen, we got another quote. I want to know what you guys think about this one. This is a famous quote as well, and I want to know what it means to you. There are two that are partnered together,
Okay.
and it says, "An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere, and no justice, no peace." When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Here's what it means to me. See, I got knocked down. I got beat up. Okay? That affected me. But tomorrow, if we don't change what we're doing, if we don't change what we're saying, tomorrow it's going to be you.
Mm.
So we got to come together.
Yeah.
Okay? And no justice, no peace. You said it, the whole George Floyd situation.
Yeah.
No justice, no peace.
Yeah. Absolutely. Diva?
You know, you ladies have said it. And the thing of it is that in these situations, we do not have enough people standing up and saying, this is wrong.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, if you're in the East Coast, the West Coast, up north, further south, that's what that means to me when it's no justice, no peace.
Yeah.
The other is very much relevant because it can happen here in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen in Arizona. It can happen anywhere where we have people in what I consider outbreaks.
Yeah.
These are the real outbreaks to me, where we have people being killed that are innocent. Those are the real pandemics.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
where we have people that are scared for their kids to go to school because they may get shot up.
Scared for them to go outside and play.
Yeah.
You know, and we got
Yeah.
people scared to go to churches because churches are getting
my
shot up.
Yeah.
You know, and the officers that arrested the young man basically gave him a Happy Meal. Say, here,
Yeah.
here you go, thanks.
Absolutely.
That was bad.
Absolutely. And just like the Rittenhouse cat, you know, after he shoots, murders, wounds, you know, he's walking down the street with his gun
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
you know, waving at the officers, hey, let that boy's name have been Sean, you know, Tariq. They would have shot him where he got this big, oh, come on.
And the thing of it is too, you know, even think about how the media plays into these situations.
Yeah.
You may hear about those kind of instances once on the news.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But let something happen in our community, or it's one of our people,
Yeah.
like the young man that was fleeing a scene and ran over the people.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not saying that was right. I definitely feel for those families, praying for them,
Yes.
praying for healing, because that was just very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Here these people were running a race or in a marathon
Yeah.
or in a parade, and this man comes through his vehicle and kills several people. That's
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But look how many times you've seen that in
Yeah.
the news versus the guy that was walking down the street with his gun.
And then it is the caricature, the way they present us
Right.
in the news, on the magazines, on the newspapers.
Yeah.
The OJ trial. Remember how menacing they made him look? You know,
Yeah.
they took a picture and they darkened it up and they grayed him out and they just made him look so, I mean, guilty is guilty.
Yeah.
Okay? But do that for everybody, you know?
When I think about both of the slogans or phrases, for me, I see a piece of myself in these individuals, in these situations, whether they're at home, in their car, whether they're being confronted by the police on the street. I recognize that they're a person of color, so I'm watching closely to see how this is going to pan out. And if it doesn't go the way that it should, there is like a feeling that comes over me because it reminds me that it's not over. All of that marching that we did, everything that we did to come to the place that we are today, to have freedom, it lets me know freedom isn't free. So when I think about it and I say an injustice everywhere, or an injustice everywhere is an injustice everywhere, anywhere is an injustice everywhere, to me it means that could have been me. That could have been my family member. That could have been you. And so it's just a sad feeling that comes over me. And I think that we still have work to do. As we focus forward, may we never forget where we came from.
Absolutely.
And may that give us courage and strength to continue to do the right thing. This is For the Culture. And you can catch us every Monday right here at 7 p.m. Go ahead, like, share, follow. This was a great show, ladies.
That's pretty good. And I'm the militant one.
Pretty much. See you guys next week.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Like and share.